A game for kids blown completely out of proportion, a mysterious figure pulling strings from behind the scenes, a time-hopping epic with the fate of the world at stake. Today we're back to looking at another series by the GOAT Naoki Urasawa and asking the question, should you read 20th Century Boys? Covering a quick look at the plot, style, and art. Like with all Urasawa stories, there's a lot of twists in this series, so we'll be staying spoiler-free. Which, for the type of series 20th Century Boys is, does mean this will be a very light on details recommendation. Let's crack in. 20th Century Boys is a seinen serial, 249 chapters long with an additional 16 chapters in the epilogue series 21st Century Boys. It was released between 2000 and 2007, a story pulling from mystery, science fiction, dystopian fiction, alt history, action, and honestly just a lot of styles. This story is a long one and plays around with a lot of different ideas. At its core, a central mystery and a diverse cast of characters that you will grow to love. So what's it about? The premise is that there is this character simply known as Friend. Friend has begun to grow a cult following around him, but some sinister threads start to emerge, suggesting that Friend is involved in some incredibly dangerous plots. Plots that could lead to disaster for the country, or even the world. We follow our hero, Kenji, as he gets sucked into this whole game set up by Friend, slowly uncovering what Friend's plans are and, more importantly, who this Friend is. See, Friend is someone from Kenji's childhood, and a lot of the mystery is figuring out which person from Kenji's past it is. Urasawa takes the story through multiple flashbacks to the character's childhood. We learn more about Kenji's old friends from school, and he starts to reconnect with them in the current day as well. All the while, clues are being sprinkled about who Friend could be. Us reading it trying to piece it all together, much like the characters. Each new clue they uncover being just as exciting for us. It's an incredibly engaging mystery, just seeing how far Friend's power reaches. While the main plot follows this overall mystery and the schemes of Friend, the chapter-to-chapter intrigue comes from the characters, playing around with ideas of growing older, finding meaning in your life, what should we value, resentments and regrets. Really genuine concepts. The series going on to deliver further development to these characters and on the ideas they explore. 20th Century Boys doesn't pull emotional punches, and you might just find yourself tearing up at some scenes. Seeing these parallels between the characters as children to their current selves is compelling. The delusionment that sets in as they start to remember their old values. I would preach that as 20th Century Boys' greatest strength. The series also does a fantastic job of staying cohesive. Ideas presented in the early chapters remain relevant for the majority of the series. The first chapter alone starts with a smattering of ideas to set up the main mystery, and the all-important framing for ideas carried through right to the last chapter. It's this clever use of telling you bits of where the story is going, but only the minimum to stoke your investment. Another way Urasawa keeps you thoroughly engaged through this whole story. In artwork, again this is some classic Urasawa. This comes fresh off the heels of Monster, and he doesn't let his normal quality slip for even a single page. Actually, much like Monster, the realistic style is such an asset to this series. This is more or less a grounded story based upon our characters, and the realistic style reinforces that. It makes these strong character moments truly shine. One of the biggest praises is that 20th Century Boys does use a lot of time skips, and somehow the characters are always recognizable. No matter when we are, we can still easily identify who is who. All that without caricaturing the main cast. Is this series a lot like Urasawa's other works? Yes, it is. If you've read through and enjoyed series like Monster or Pluto, it's a good bet that you'll like 20th Century Boys as well. It follows through on a lot of those staples that he does so well. The strong side characters, the secrets held through the series, the compelling emotional core. Some even consider this series Urasawa at his best, and it sits alongside Monster as his most beloved works. It's also about 100 plus chapters longer than those other big Urasawa stories. This does lead to the story feeling a bit bloated at times, but for the most part these are only noticed retrospectively after finishing the series. As you're going through it, particularly for the first time, every single part of this journey feels like another interesting step into unmasking Friend for good. So, should you read 20th Century Boys? Of course you should. This story has immortalized itself as one of those seinen series that everyone recommends, and it's for good reason. While the main plot can get outlandish and crazy at times, the characters we're following at the core of it all are incredibly strong. From such a diverse cast, it's almost guaranteed that you'll find at least one person in this series you can relate to, tying you deeper into this mystery as they try to figure out the secrets of Friend. The story itself taking you in directions that will honestly catch you off guard if you aren't reading closely. It's a great ride to be on, and one you definitely need to try. If you're interested in other manga to try, check out Billy Bat or Monster, two more series of Urasawa's greats. And thanks for watching. This has been CG, and I'll see you Gs in the next one.